Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Luke Pipala Show. We had a very good week last week with the episode. Really appreciate it. So before we head into the episode, we have a lot here. Please give the show a like, a comment, a subscribe to the channel. I have a great channel. 2 podcasts on this channel. We do very cool things. Anyway, we're going to get into it right now. Here we go. Star Wars. You're familiar. Big brand. Lot of memorable movies. Recently now, Star Wars hasn't been something that's too desirable, right? When you talk about the last 3 movies, the sequel trilogy to Episode 4, Episode 5, Episode 6, there was a big disconnect with the fans. I'm a Star Wars fan. We were not people that liked the movies. The movies disrespected all of the characters of the original trilogy. Plus, they made really bad creative decisions in these 3 movies that really turned the fans off. And so one of the stars of this Star Wars sequel trilogy, Episodes 7, 8, and 9, John Boyega, recently came out and was attacking the fans. You see, John Boyega is a black actor, and he was a supporting actor. But he attacked the Star Wars fans for being, quote-unquote, racist. We're going to play this video, and you can hear exactly what he said. Here we go.
They're pandering. Let me tell you, Star Wars always had the vibe of being in the most whitest elite space. Like, this franchise is so white that it's like a black person existing in that was something. And you can always tell it's something when some Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Lando Calrissian and had Samuel L. Jackson. It's like telling me how many cookie chips are on the cookie dough. I'm like, bro, they just scattered that in there, bro.
Okay, so that's what John Boyega said. Let's talk about this now. So John Boyega was somebody who most Star Wars fans really wanted to see thrive. We look at Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Episode 8, The Last Jedi, Episode 9, The Rise of Sky. I don't like any of the movies. In part because John Boyega was somebody that was a great character. His character Finn was awesome. But the problem was the writers did him a really, really big disservice. John Boyega in the Star Wars universe played a character who was a stormtrooper and then flipped, was able to see the error of his ways and then flipped to the resistance, to the good guys, the rebels. Ends up, he holds a lightsaber in Episode 7, and you think maybe he's going to go down that way. They kind of foreshadowed, J.J. Abrams, I believe, who was the director, kind of foreshadows like maybe he's going to go that way. He's going to become a Force-sensitive Jedi who went from being a stormtrooper to this. And they foreshadowed it, and it was really cool to see maybe this possibility is going to happen. They've never explored this idea character-wise. Like, this could be a really cool character. And then 8 and 9 happened, and they completely shit on him. They have the worst writing possible. Even to the point where, like, you could see the actors, including John Boyega, when they're talking about Rise of Skywalker, they're just laughing about it in the press interviews and how, oh yeah, we weren't really big fans of how this went down. And then getting to the critique that John Boyega has, saying, let me tell you, Star Wars always had the vibe of being in the most whitest elite space, which that doesn't make sense. And he brings up the critique that, oh no, we had Lando Calrissian, who was a very important character who happened to be black. We have Mace Windu, who I don't know why those are slights, because Mace Windu was arguably the most powerful Jedi ever in those prequel movies. Like, he is a badass character. That's not like a token black character. Neither of these characters are token black. And he's calling the Star Wars fans racist. And it's quite disingenuous because, yes, there might be a couple of Star Wars fans that are racist for sure, but this is a small minority. We can be critical of these new shows. I forget the most recent show, The Acolyte. We can be critical of The Acolyte, not because of the actress's skin, who stars in it, but the fact that she completely shits on the material and then calls the show the gayest thing that Star Wars has ever had. And when you're marketing a show to children, it's probably not the best thing to say this show is the gayest Star Wars thing that has ever happened. Probably not a great thing. That was the criticism of her. That's the difference here. John Boyega, nobody was saying that you shouldn't have been in a Star Wars film. People like me and people all over the internet were saying, we wish that you were in it more. We wish they wrote your character in a better way. But no, you, for whatever reason, you've taken the position that a lot of people have recently in the past decade, that Star Wars fans are racist, sexist, and homophobic. That's what it is, and it's not true. And I'm tired of seeing this narrative play out all over the internet. It's just not true. He continued, he said, it's a franchise that's so white that a black person existing in it was something. This is not something that people focused on. Your character, this character that you played, could have been the greatest Star Wars character of all time. No, legit. You go from a stormtrooper, you see the error of the Empire's ways, and in his case, the First Order's ways. You see the error of the First Order's ways. You flip. You go from being a stormtrooper, a pretty helpless stormtrooper, you can shoot a blaster, to now you have the potential to become a Force-sensitive Jedi. That's what they alluded to. That's what they foreshadowed when he kind of went up against Kylo Ren in that scene in the snow, right? Like that's what they alluded to. He had the potential to be one of the greatest Star Wars characters of all time in terms of just the iconic story, right? The arc that could have taken place. But no. John Boyega, the fans side with you, dude. We're fans of you. You don't have to attack us. We enjoyed everything that you did in all those Star Wars movies that you were in. We wish that you were a greater importance to the story. You could have had, the writers did you such a disservice, bro. You could have had the most incredible arc, one of the most incredible arcs in film. But for some reason, you continue to attack the Star Wars fan base that has propped you up. If it wasn't for being in these Star Wars movies, your career would not be what it was, even though your character that you played missed such a big opportunity. Still, this gave you an opportunity for bigger roles, and we supported you at the box office. You can go back, look at all the numbers. These films were highly successful. Now, we can have the argument maybe this is because of the Star Wars brand. It's so huge, which is probably true. But also, like, people wanted to see your character succeed. So don't give me all this, the Star Wars fans are racist. No, we simply have an appetite for good storytelling. And frankly, the past decade, besides Rogue One and a little bit of The Mandalorian and Andor, I really liked Andor. And Kenobi and Ahsoka, it's been hit or miss, right? There's been a little bit of Clone Wars, but for the most part, past decade has not been good Star Wars content. And we want to see good storytelling like we've grown up with. That's it. It has nothing to do with how many black or how many white characters exist in the universe. And even then, Star Wars isn't just a universe where races exist. It's different species of aliens existing. All these different types, right? So race isn't really even a factor. You have black actors that are playing alien races as well. So I don't like this critique. I don't like this critique of the Star Wars universe. I don't think it's fair. I don't think the critique of the Star Wars fandom is quite fair, because we support you. We've literally been calling for your character for years to have a more expanded role, to really flesh out that character arc. Because like I said, your character had the potential to be not just one of the coolest Star Wars characters, but one of the coolest characters in film. So that's all it is. That's how I want to open the show. It made me a little bit mad because that's not fair. It's not fair to say that the Star Wars fandom is toxic. It's just not. So, what are you gonna do? Right? We can all speak our truth here. And speaking of truth, something really sad happened. And I feel like every time we talk about these things, these tragedies when it comes to deaths, we don't really take into account that families are hurting. Okay? So what I'm referencing is the death of the teenage athlete out of Texas, Austin Metcalf. And his death has been the subject of controversy because he was a white kid. He was killed by a black kid. And that's why people have taken different sides, and we'll fledge out that whole controversy in a second. But here we go. Here's the article. So, student killed in stabbing in North Texas track meet identified. Police charge with another student with murder. So the student who died, who was identified as 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, he attended Frisco's Memorial High School. One student died and another was arrested on a murder charge after stabbing at a Frisco High School, Texas track meet Wednesday morning. Police and family members confirmed to WFAA. The stabbing happened around 10 a.m. at the University Interscholastic League's District 11-5A championship track meet, which was being held at Frisco Independent School District's Kuykendall Stadium. The victim who died was 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Family members told WFAA he was a student athlete at Frisco's Memorial High School. His twin brother, Hunter, described him as a peacemaker and was loved by all his friends. Megan Metcalf, Austin's mother, said she rushed to the hospital as soon as Hunter called her, Quote, "My son is not here anywhere, and I don't understand it," she grieved. "He was the most amazing kid, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college." And this is him. Police said officers had responded around 10 a.m. to an altercation between two students. One of the students was stabbed by the other, according to police. Hunter Metcalf told WFAA he was there when Austin was stabbed and tried to save his life by stopping the blood. I tried to whip... I don't know what's happening here. Here we go. Quote, "I tried to rip around as fast as I could," Hunter said with tears in his eyes. "I looked at my brother, and I'm not going to talk about the rest. I tried to help him." Hunter said he held his brother until first responders attempted resuscitation. Frisco police said CPR was performed on the victim, and his blood was administered, but Metcalf later died. Quote, "Austin did everything for our family," said Hunter. "As a linebacker, he was a stud. I always tried to fill those shoes and play with him. I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him." Although Austin was only 4 minutes than his brother Hunter, he said, "I always looked up to him. He was a big brother, even though they were the same age." Okay, so there's that. Now here's the controversy, because the suspect, the killer, happened to be black. So his name was Carmelo Anthony, with a K. Not to be confused with the basketball player, future Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony. A 17-year-old student at Frisco Centennial High School was taken into custody on a murder charge. Anthony was transferred from Frisco City Jail to Collin County Jail on Thursday. His bond was set in a million jail records show. Anthony played football in the secondary for Centennial and indicated on social media pages he'd been offered scholarships to play for football colleges for similar smaller schools. Excuse me. Okay, why is there controversy? There should have been a regular thing, right? It's a tragedy. It's very sad. But here's the problem right here, okay? We're getting back into it. We're talking about the quotes. In an arrest affidavit obtained by the WFAA, Anthony confessed to the incident, claiming he was protecting himself. Well, that's interesting. One witness reportedly told police Metcalf had told Anthony he would need to move out from under his team's tent, the affidavit stated. Okay, so he was sitting in the wrong seat. Okay. Upon telling him this, the witness told police that Anthony opened his bag and reached inside. Quote, "Touch me and see what happens," Anthony told Metcalf, according to a witness. So now you're understanding why this is such a controversial thing. Metcalf reportedly then touched Anthony, and witnesses told a responding officer, and Anthony told Metcalf to punch him and see what would happen. Soon afterward, the witness said Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, at which point, the affidavit continues, Anthony reportedly pulled up what the witness recalled as a black knife and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest before running away. According to the affidavit, the knife allegedly stabbed Metcalf was later found within the bleachers at the track. Anthony had reportedly thrown it in there following the stabbing. Okay, so this is why people are so upset. And here's what's really infuriating. So we have a couple videos to look at here. This has really divided the internet and divided the country. It's become a very controversial thing. And so a lot of people in the black community, not even the black community, but a lot of people on the left, we'll say, have taken the side of Carmelo Anthony. Why? Because they view it as a toxic, racist thing. And they are saying that Carmelo Anthony was innocent, despite what I just read to you in the affidavit. So here's a woman who said Austin Metcalf got what he deserved, said that Rosa Parks' days are over. Listen to this woman.
Y'all not gonna make me believe or feel any kind of sympathy for Austin Metcalf at all.
What? The kid, this poor kid, the 17-year-old kid, was stabbed in the chest and killed. You don't feel any sympathy for him?
He put his hands on that young man when he should have kept them hands to himself. When the young man told him, touch me and see, you bet not touch me, that meant that I don't want you in my space. I don't want you touching me. Rosa Parks days is over.
So here's the deal. Rosa Parks was not a murderer. Who the hell brings a knife to a track meet? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you bring a weapon to a track meet? If this is true, you were just in the wrong seat. You weren't in the right tent. It wasn't your school. Whatever. This is a completely normal interaction between two teenagers, right? Whatever it is, what it is. Why are you bringing a knife to a track meet? Are these people even looking at that at all? Okay, so here's why I'm really pissed off. All right, because there's a lot of people like this lady who said Austin Metcalf got what he deserved. They view it as racial violence, okay? And here's the problem. So there was a GoFundMe that Carmelo Anthony, who was the killer, Carmelo Anthony's family started GoFundMe. And people have raised, this family has raised, even though this guy killed a 17-year-old kid, the family of Carmelo Anthony, the killer, has raised over $163,000 for a GoFundMe for his legal defense, which he literally murdered a white kid, and he's being rewarded with hundreds of thousands of dollars. It would seem they're probably going to hit the $200,000 goal. It is just so crazy how people on the internet, look at this, people on the internet are rallying behind a murderer. And they're trying to make it a black thing. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it is. But we should not celebrate this stuff. Why are we celebrating more violence, right? I thought we got over this with the George Floyd thing. Yes. What happened to George Floyd was tragic. And it shouldn't have happened. Did Derek Chauvin act racially? Maybe. I don't know. But it's not. And they're talking about releasing him. This shouldn't happen. Like, we should have got over that as a country. But this is not. Also, too, we live in an age where everybody has everything on camera. Why weren't the recordings released? There had to have been something. Somebody must have had a phone. This is not good. Not a good precedent to set. Not something that's very good for racial relations either in this country. We should not be glorifying murderers. It's not something that we should do. It's not something that we have done in the past. No, O.J. Simpson, okay, maybe not. But this is not a good precedent to set, folks, because you are only going to accelerate racial tensions in this country. People in the comments, say what you will, but you have to somewhat respect their blind racial loyalty. Perhaps it's time we do the same. I don't think we do that. Right? That's a white person in the comments. I don't know if we go there. That's not good. All I'm saying is that something has to change. And people are talking about black culture being the source of all this, right? Matt Walsh on Twitter talking about black culture. Jason Whitlock talking about black culture. It's been the subject of a lot. I'm not even going to go there. But the way I want to end this is like, we should not glorify murderers. I said this with the killing of CEO Brian Thompson with Luigi Mangione. I do not think that we as a society should celebrate murderers. I don't care if the kid was a piece of shit. It certainly didn't indicate that he was a piece of shit from the article I read, not what the affidavit said. This kid, Carmelo Anthony, he was sitting in the wrong seat. It wasn't his team. It wasn't his high school. He was sitting in the wrong tent. So the white young kid, he asked him to move. And he didn't move, so you stab him? Who brings a knife to a track meet? Who brings a knife to a sporting event where you're supposed to be competing? I don't get it. I don't know why people aren't talking about that either. It's so frustrating, man. I hate seeing kids die. I hate seeing people die unnecessarily. It's just really, really sad. It is really, really sad. I don't know. I personally think this is going to, I personally think this is going to accelerate racial tension again, which like we were doing so good as a country from like kind of calming down. Yes, it's always been in the air, but this is going to accelerate it again, and I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. I don't know, man. I would advise we just pray for the both of their families, but this is not good. Not good. That's all I'll say about it. That's all I will say about it. It's just not a good situation. I can't imagine what the family is going through. The Butler family. All right. To transition. Because we need to transition after a topic like that. Okay. Minecraft. We've all played Minecraft growing up. We've all spent hours upon hours upon hours on different maps with our friends. Well, Minecraft made a movie. And I don't know about you guys, but when I would see the Minecraft trailer in movie theaters, I would think, oh, that's going to bomb. My brothers and I, we'd see the trailer in the movie theaters. We'd see it online. We'd be like, oh, that's going to bomb, right? That's not going to make any money. Well, they showed me wrong, and they showed us wrong, because Minecraft opened with $301 million worldwide in the first week. This is a film that stars Jack Black and Jason Momoa right here. They made $157 million domestically, the biggest 3-day opening weekend for a video game movie ever. The budget was $150 million, so they're already in the profit. Now, you also have to talk about, too, advertising budget, stuff like that. But when it comes to just the budget for the film alone, they're already in the black, which is really, really crazy. I mean, these are the numbers. This is fantastic. I didn't think this was going to be a thing at all. Like, I didn't think this was going to be as profitable of a movie as it is. I mean, you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, and I know we can't judge the Rotten Tomatoes score off of everything, but just looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score here, and I'm not going to put it on the screen for you guys because I don't think that's important, but at the moment it stands at a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes. And so, I mean, the movie doesn't suck, right? 6 out of 10 on IMDb, 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. And so the cast, looking at the cast here, you have people like Jason Momoa, people like Jack Black. Jennifer Coolidge is in it as well. Kate McKinnon. I'm just looking for the people that I know. And that's all. That's all the people that you would know. But let me tell you, folks, I was wrong. Pauline Chalamet. I'm assuming it's Timothy Chalamet's relative of some sort. Hour 40 minutes. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I'm happy to see a movie that's so closely related to our childhood that it is having so much success. Like, this generally brings me joy. And I haven't seen it yet, but I definitely need to see it. It's just something, and I'll pull the trailer up too. I'll pull the trailer up for everybody that hasn't seen it. This is the final trailer for Minecraft. Let's play this right now. I didn't think, too, when I did see this final trailer, I didn't think as well that it would have so much of the source material being acknowledged, like of the original game. And that's something I really appreciate. So we'll play this for you guys, and we'll just react to it.
Don't worry! I'm gonna cushion our fall with this water bucket! Release! In the overworld,
Whoa.
anything you can dream about?
Like, I'm sorry. That's cool. Like, Jack Black, he plays Steve. He plays the character of Steve. And he's building the block. Like, that's cool, dude. The wood blocks, that is so cool. It's just like what happened in the game.
You can create!
So they built all this?
Yeah, most of it.
Hola.
Like,
That thing doesn't understand
perfect.
a word you're saying.
It looks perfect when it comes to, like, the HD, the quality of the movie. It looks perfect.
Life here was perfect. Until one day, flint and steel, we came across the Nether.
And that's also cool that they showed the Nether. This is the first time I'm seeing this trailer. I just wanted to play it for everybody that hasn't seen it yet, because I will be watching the film this weekend.
A place with no joy or creativity at all.
You! What are you making? Oh!
If they get their way, this beautiful world and everything in it will wither and die.
Bio con Dios. It means goodbye, brother.
No, it doesn't.
Don't look at her. It does.
If we want to save this world, creativity is key to survival. Now what?
Elytra wingsuits.
Oh my. Those things work, right?
Absolutely.
I got something for you.
I love Blue House.
Oh my
No way,
gosh,
it's gonna
I'm
blow
so
up.
salty.
Oh my gosh.
This place makes no sense.
Let's do this.
They want me to fight the chicken?
Chicken jockey.
That's cool. That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Oh no, not again. Oh my god.
it's Jennifer
oh my
Coolidge.
god, are you all right? Your head is huge.
So I apologize to everybody that's listening, which isn't a lot of people, but I apologize to everybody that's listening, not watching the podcast. But I had to play that because I really haven't seen this last trailer. I've seen the teasers, like I mentioned before, but the trailer itself, the final one, I haven't seen. And this is really cool, man. When Jason Momoa was announced for this, I didn't think that Jack Black was announced to the project, or attached to the project until recently. But when it was just Jason Momoa, we weren't really excited about it. We thought it was going to flop. But this is really cool. I'm really happy to see a movie is that has a decent budget is finding so much success, because too many films now go directly to streaming. And so this is really cool. I can't wait to see the film. Hopefully I'll be able to watch it this weekend with some family, but that's really cool, man. I really like to see that. That was awesome. That was really cool. We have another topic in the news that I did want to get to, and it involves another movie star, a certain celebrity, comedian, celebrity, converted to truth teller. I don't know what he's doing now. Russell Brand. Everybody knows Russell Brand. We don't have to discuss his credentials or why he's a celebrity, right? He's a comedian, he's an actor, all of that. Well, folks, Russell Brand has gotten himself into quite a bit of trouble recently. And we're gonna read this to you. And it's not quite good either. Not something that you or I would want to get ourselves into, okay? And I'm stalling because I can't find the article. So bear with me for 1 second. I thought I had it, but I don't have it, and I have to go all the way back up in my history to find it, and it's right here. Here we go. Okay. Russell Brand. Russell Brand has been charged with rape and sexual assault. Not something that you or I want to be in the position of, okay? So let's just get that out there right now. Here's the article from the Post. Here we go. Okay. Russell Brand has been charged with rape and sexual assault. Comedian turned wellness guru Russell Brand has been charged with a string of rapes and sexual assaults dating back more than 25 years, British police say. Continuing on, there we go. Continuing on right here, the 49-year-old was hit on charges of rape, indecent assault, oral rape, and 2 counts of sexual assault. Holy shit. The alleged offenses are tied to 4 separate women and took place between 1999 and 2005, the cops said. The British actor who once married pop star Katy Perry is accused of raping one woman in Bournemouth in 1999 and indecently assaulting another in 2001 in London's Westminster area. Cops opened a sex crimes investigation into Brand back in September 2023, just weeks after the Sunday Times and Channel 4's documentary show Dispatches reported that 4 women had accused Brand of sexual assault including one rape that allegedly occurred at his Los Angeles home in 2012 at the height of his Hollywood fame. In another alleged incident detailed in the report, quote, Get Him to the Greek Star, which is a great film. The Get Him to the Greek Star was accused of assaulting a then 16-year-old girl by forcing her to perform oral sex during a 3-month-long relationship. Holy shit. The then team claimed she had to punch the star in the stomach to make him stop, the report alleged. The other accusers detailed in the initial media report included a woman who claimed he sexually assaulted her at his property in West Hollywood after they met at an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. That's pretty shitty if it's true. You're going to get help, you're going to heal, and then, boom, he does this to you. That's really shitty. It wasn't immediately clear if the charges were tied to any of the allegations laid bare in the media reports. And this is Russell Brand. That's Russell Brand. Police on Friday said they'd received a handful of complaints after the document. Damn, I can't talk. I apologize. Police on Friday said they'd received a handful of complaints from women after the documentary aired. Brand at the time denied the claims, insisting his relationships were, quote, always consensual. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, Brand said, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Quote, now during that time of promiscuity, I had relationships and they were always consensual. On Friday, hours after the charges were leveled against him, he insisted he had never raped anybody. Quote, I was a fool before I lived in the light of the Lord. I was a drug addict, a sex addict, and an imbecile. But what I never was a rapist, he said in a video statement on Instagram. So the police said their investigation's ongoing. Continuing on here, the Mets investigation remains open, and detectives ask anyone who has been affected by the case or anyone who has any information to come forward speak with the police. Detective Superintendent Andy Murphy said Friday, the women who have made reports continue to receive support from specially trained officers. Quote, we have concluded that Russell Brand should be charged with offenses including rape, sexual assault, and indecent assault. And that is from Jaswant Narwal, Britain's Crown Protection Service. Once again, this is Russell Brand. This is crazy. If it's true, we always have to say that, right? Because we don't know for sure. Hasn't been charged with anything yet, but that's what they want. If it's true, it's quite reminiscent of his character from Get Him to the Greek. Excuse me. I just watched this movie, Get Him to the Greek, recently with my fiance. Good movie, right? It's Jonah Hill, Russell Brand, Diddy is in it, ironically. But his character in Get Him to the Greek is mirrored by what he was at the time. He was a sex addict, a drug addict, and Russell Brand is somebody that has come out and said, yes, I was this piece of shit. But he converted to Catholicism, right? He's living his life differently. He has publicly showed his change and how he's become a very faithful person in comparison to when he was somebody that was very much out there, to say the least. And so, I don't know if this is true. We'll see what the facts show. But, I mean, once again, right, this goes back to what I've been saying about celebrities and people in Hollywood for a very long time. And understand, Russell Brand really isn't in Hollywood anymore. He's pretty much kicked out. And ironically, it's not for his behavior either, which is very Hollywood of Hollywood, but because he's become kind of conservative and he's been outspokenly religious now and stuff like that, which is probably why he doesn't get jobs that much anymore. But it just goes to show you once again, folks, celebrities are not real people. Fame will do a bunch of shit to you, but celebrities are not real people. So do not put your faith in celebrities. They are not real. It's very important that we hone this topic down. I continue to let you people know about how celebrities, you don't have to put all of your faith in them. They are not real people. A lot of them, as we see here, are probably not great people. Now, I can't speak to Russell Brand now, but definitely hearing and reading about his behavior in the past, he was not a good person. It is very important to keep that in mind. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Russell Brand. I know he just touched down in Israel a couple days ago, so he'll probably go to them and they'll probably try and help him out as Israel does. We'll see. We will see. I don't know. I don't know what happens there, but it's quite interesting. It's yeah, I would just say, like, you shouldn't put your faith in all of celebrities. I just wouldn't do it. I don't think it's a good thing. We'll see where this goes, man. We will see where this trial goes, where everything goes. I don't know how Russell Brand is exactly going to come out of this. We will see. So the next thing I want to talk about is LeBron James. And specifically how he had a recent video that went viral on social media for flopping, and his teammates didn't help him. And he was laying on the ground on the court for like 20 seconds like a bitch. And I just want to show you guys. And then I want to show a couple personal stories. I want to share that with you. So here we go. Here's LeBron. And there he is, laying on the ground, looking like he's ready to get fucked, right? Look at him. Nobody's going to help him. Nobody's going to help him. Oh, you have the people that clean the floor. Draymond Green from the other team, the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green was the first one to go over and try and help him before any of his teammates. That shows something. All right. So there's that. So I don't have another video. LeBron James. People talk about him being the GOAT. I don't know, he might be, but I don't think he's tough. Not in that regard. You see, LeBron, when you saw him fall, none of his teammates came to help him up. And people talk about LeBron being a good person, a bad person. I will just share my experiences with him. I don't think LeBron's a good person. Maybe he's a good person in public, but I don't think that he cares about other people. And so when his teammates did not come to his defense and try and help him, they left him. They would rather play 4-on-5 basketball, leave the Lakers at a disadvantage because they have one less guy. They would rather just let him go. They're not going to go, hey, stop the game, hold on. You didn't see any of the Lakers players rushing over to help him. No, you didn't. Because he's not a good person. 2 examples, 2 stories about LeBron. 2. I only have 2. The first one, I was 12 years old. We were able to see LeBron. We had the opportunity to see LeBron play at the Cavs, right? In Cleveland. And it was great. Cavs won. It was only a preseason game, but still, it was really cool. It was a great experience. After the game, we lucked out. We were able to go backstage and meet all of the players as they were exiting the locker room. Bro, it was so cool. They played the Mavericks, and after the game, we're there, and people are lined up, okay? There's like a table, not like a table, but like a counter. About 1.5 feet, 2 feet wide. About 2 feet wide. You could lean on it, and the players, it divided you from the players. And so what would happen is all the players, they would come, and they would sign autographs, take pictures. It was the coolest freaking thing, bro. So they played the Mavericks. We met Dirk. We met Monta Ellis. Who else was there at the time? I think Tyson Chandler, maybe, but I could be wrong. I think he was actually on the Knicks at that time. But still, we met Dirk. It was so cool. He was so big. And then we met Kyrie. We met Kevin Love, Anderson Varejao. It was so freaking cool. But everybody was waiting for the star of the show. LeBron James. Everybody. Kids, parents, workers. We're all waiting for LeBron James. And then all of a sudden, you see this guy that's larger than life. He comes out, Everybody's cheering, LeBron, LeBron, LeBron. Kids, I'm pretty sure there was this one kid with cancer. He had a board. He's holding up a board. It said, my goal, I just beat cancer. My goal is to have a picture with LeBron James, or like meet LeBron James, right? Everybody was psyched. It was so freaking cool. And then you know what LeBron does? He's got headphones on his ear, like 2 times bigger than what I have on my head right now. Beats. Sunglasses. He does not acknowledge anybody. He walks straight past, no eye contact, sunglasses, straight past, makes a left through the metal detector, walks off. Not a word, not even an acknowledgement, didn't even wave to the fans, did not give a shit. Mind you, the Cavs won the game. Not a good person, bro. Not a good person. My second story about LeBron. The high school I played basketball for is about 45 minutes away from LeBron's childhood high school, right? It's the same area. I went to Ursuline, so do the math. And we're playing basketball, and not going to lie, we lost by 50. That's not the point. When LeBron sat down, he sat in like the upper right-hand corner, okay? It would be as like he had his own section, even though he didn't. He had bodyguards around him, like legit around him. Nobody was allowed to go. These kids, once again, probably a kid with cancer. My little brother as well, who does not have cancer. But other kids, right? Little kids were trying to get to him. Take a picture, an autograph, something. They just want to see the best player in the world. And probably still is the best player in the world, mind you. Would you believe that he said no? Would you believe that the security guard said, no, you can't come over here. You have to go back to your seat. This guy is so self-righteous and so wrapped up in what he wants. I don't know why. I don't know. You expect that you would be in a position where you just want to give back, right? In any way you can. You came from nothing, and now you have everything. And these kids, they see you. They want to be you. Why would you not just give back? Give a couple of minutes. We weren't playing LeBron's son, okay? LeBron was just there to watch. He was just there to watch us get our asses picked in a full court press. And nothing. And you would hear kids on the team, their parents were talking about, the little kids were talking about, yeah, he didn't let us take a picture or an autograph. And it's like, no, you're a shitty person. That it was completely, when I saw this viral clip of him, quote unquote, hurt, and he wasn't hurt. You know what he does, though? He flops and he cries, and it is what it is. I'm not even a LeBron hater. I think he might be the GOAT. And I want to see him get a 5th ring. But he's not a good person, dude. He doesn't care about other people. That's just how it is. These are the real stories that people don't tell you, because if there's any pushback against LeBron, you just get blacklisted. You get blackballed. It is what it is, right? But it's not cool. So that clip, that viral clip of him just laying on the floor, laying on the court at the Lakers game like a bitch, like he's ready to get fucked. It made me think of that, man. It made me think, I wonder how many people don't know that he's a piece of shit. And so I had to share that with you. I just don't. LeBron the player, oh, he's probably the GOAT. But LeBron the person, I don't know. Like, his teammates didn't even go over to see him. His teammates do not even go over to, oh, are you okay? You're probably the best player on our team. Luka, but you're like arguably the best player on our team. We don't want you to be hurt. But they didn't even go over there and try to help him. I think that's really indicative of a kind of person he is. So the UK is banning knives now. That's how bad it is over there. Prime example that over here in America, if you were to ban guns, the crime would just keep happening. People would find other means to commit violent acts. What am I talking about? Here's a video where they say ninja swords have been banned in the UK, which they're not ninja swords, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But look at this video, man. I'm gonna watch this. I want you guys to see this because this is what it is. They're saying that they've banned knives in the UK.
We begin with breaking news. The government has banned ninja swords 3 years after the death of 16-year-old Ronan Kanda. It will be illegal to possess, sell, make or import the weapon from the summer, with anyone caught with a ninja sword potentially facing 6 months in prison. The ban is part of...
This is what they're banning right here, folks. This is what the UK is banning. They're banning kitchen knives because crime has been so bad, because they let in everybody. So no wonder they don't have guns. So the people that live in the UK can't defend themselves, right? Because it's not the people in the UK that are doing all this, I'll tell you that. This is not something that a functional society can sustain. Let's watch the clip.
Of measures known as Ronan's Law, which also requires retailers to report bulk or suspicious sales to police, and an increase to jail sentences for selling weapons to children. The Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, said it's part of a wider mission to try and keep children safe.
All right, lovely. So here's what happens now. What can the people that live in the UK, what can they do? How do the natives, how do they defend themselves? Normal, hardworking people, middle-class people, poor people. How do they defend themselves then if you're not allowed to have kitchen knives? How are you gonna do this? How are you going to keep kitchen knives? Because it's gotten that bad over there. How are you going to prevent kitchen knives from getting in the hands of people that are bad, criminals? And they're calling them ninja swords too, which is quite interesting. So no, they're not called ninja swords actually. Just kitchen knives. But it's crazy because is that kind of racist to call them ninja swords too? But like even the Prime Minister of the UK, we have this right here, this guy Keir Starmer. If you haven't heard of him before, you'll hear of him now. But he even confirmed that, quote, ninja swords will be banned nationwide this summer as part of his crackdown on knife crime. Insane, bro. Here's a video from 2023, and I wanted to play this as well because these men are like fearful. Here's a video from 2023, and this is of a man, and he's waving around a knife, but this is the quote from this video that hold on, folks. I accidentally played the clip on accident. Okay, so here's that video, right? So this is from a person on Twitter, account on Twitter, and this is from 2023. It's a video, so it says right here, if you want to see gun grabbers go after they ban the guns, it's here. The UK has strict anti-knife laws, and they will have violent crime. Anyone can make a knife with a minimal skill, but they think banning them is going to stop the criminals from acquiring them and using them as well. So we're going to play this clip, like I said, only a minute long. This is from 2023, but like this is how some people in the UK, in Europe, think about knives.
I'm now brandishing in front of you a 21-inch, brutal-looking black knife. It is sharp, believe you me.
It's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
It is terrifying. If someone approached me with that, I would think it was the end of my days.
It is one of the most scary things that I've ever held in my hand. Yeah. There's no two ways about it.
Horrific.
I bought this online for £23.49, entirely legally, and I had it sent to this
all because
studio.
of the script or writing.
It has got no writing on it. If that had writing on it that said Zombie Hunter 5000, it would be illegal. Because it doesn't, it is completely legal.
So you've done nothing illegal, so you can sit in that studio opposite me with that 20-inch knife, which would kill me in seconds if you... Yeah, absolutely.
Kill several people.
In seconds.
It is terrifying. But it gets worse, Nick, I'm afraid, because I've heard from several police sources, in fact, this is where the story was alerted to us, that they're turning up to raids on the properties of known violent criminals. They're finding knives just like this. But because there is no writing on the knives, the police can do nothing.
Two grown-ass men talking about how a kitchen knife is terrifying to them. I can't think of anything more Europe than that. Folks, this is how you know that you have a society problem. You have a legit problem in your society. And it's not the native UK people. Once again, you know who is doing the crime. You know why we don't have this problem in America. Number one, because we have actual weapons. We're allowed to have actual weapons. But number two, this was happening, and it was happening much worse, but we shut the border down. The problem in the UK is it's a bunch of self-hating white people, and they still have this view that DEI is the way to go, that we need to import the third world. Well, when you import the third world and you import the customs and the culture that the third world has, which is violence, then you are going to get violence of your own. And these are not men. They're scared of a kitchen knife. It is what it is. But it's just so tiring to see. Britain, right? A great country. All of this stuff. Really, the United Kingdom, a great country, great countries in the United Kingdom, a storied history of all these countries, and to see the culture being torn apart, it's sad, but it is what it is ultimately. There's a reason why America formed away from Britain, away from all these Europeans. Why? Because ultimately it wasn't great there. But you really think banning the knives is going to stop criminals from acquiring them? I think that is so crazy. But it just goes to show you what a failed state the UK is. Good luck, folks. We'll see how you survive the next 100 years. We will see, because I don't know if you will. That's the show, folks. I mean, unless I see a more compelling story in the next couple of seconds here, which I don't think I do, that's the show. I'm not going to talk about the tariffs. I just won't. I don't have enough expertise on that. But yeah, that's the show. So I hope it didn't suck. Thank you for watching. Give the show a sub. Don't be scared of knives.